dog. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come here. Good girl. Here we go. Here we go. Hey guys. Hi. Welcome back. I know, I just did a video, right? What am I doing? Why am I doing so many back-to-back videos? Well, I've been working my side business, my small business. It's not really a side business to me, but I'm working my small business, and I've also been getting some other things, lots of other things, including expanding what I sell, a lot of different things. But on top of that, I've also been working temp, which means that every so often I have a job that I have to do outside the house. And here's why that's important. Pretty soon, there's a really good chance that I'll be working in the woo, as my Christian friends would say. So this is kind of my chance to sort of do all my videos. Sorry, my hair looks so weird today. It's all over the place. Ah! So I want to do a video that I feel more comfortable doing this year than I did at any other time ever, because I feel like this year might be a really, really good year for me. And I was feeling that before I actually watched anything or read anything. There's someone right now. Hang on. Oh boy. Oh boy. You're on camera. Hey. Well, that's what it's like to have a live channel, right? So I want to talk about something that's personal but not personal, that I think a lot of people can identify with. Lunar New Year is a really, really big, very important, very happy day and very happy holiday for me. I don't celebrate most holidays because I feel it would be sort of not very genuine for me to celebrate a holiday. Why would I go ahead and celebrate something that I don't really believe in, or I don't have any kind of emotional or any kind of connection with, just to fit in with other people? Not so much. But Chinese New Year is something that I celebrate, that I feel really strongly about, that I really love. Lunar New Year is sort of like a cop-out for me anyways, because I am celebrating Chinese New Year, not just any Lunar New Year in general kind of thing. And I say that also because of the way that I observe the holiday. And I think it's something that would confuse a lot of people, but it wouldn't confuse a lot of pagans. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to be pagan for me, because I can't tell you what it would mean for you. The truth is, the original meaning of the word pagan just meant, literally, it was sort of like country bumpkin who followed the old ways. So back when the Catholic Church was going through Europe, beginning that change, it wasn't going so well. It didn't go so smoothly. And a lot of the farmers and the, not just townspeople, but people in the mountainous regions, the more rural areas, were referred to as pagans. And it literally meant someone who was in the mountains, in a rural area, doing old things, following old ways, quote unquote backwards because they were old, following old ways. And the most important part of that in this particular context is the religious aspect or the spiritual aspect. So when you're spiritual, it doesn't necessarily mean that you kowtow to anybody or anything in particular, or that you show any sort of fealty towards a particular deity. However, if you are religious, that is something that's extremely important. Without having that continuous daily choice to observe another, god or goddess or pantheon, you would have no directionality in your life as a religious person. Whereas as a spiritual person, it could be in the observance of gratitude for specific things or appreciation of specific areas of life that guide you through your daily emotions. So where a A Wiccan would perhaps say, I'm not going to eat meat on this specific day. A certain sect of Wicca would say that. A pagan person, or a spiritual person, someone who doesn't follow religion, would say, I'm going to eat it or I'm not. And if they weren't going to eat it, it's not that they wouldn't eat it on a specific day, it's that they wouldn't eat it at all. And they might not even really call themselves vegetarians, it's just that they would be choosing specifically not to eat meat for whatever particular reason it was for them. Maybe it would be in observance and appreciation for all living things, they would choose to not eat meat, which is something to a Christian or a very Western way of thinking sounds very sort of Buddhist, but it's not. Buddhism doesn't have the corner on vegetarianism, although it is a religion that does observe that, depending on what sect of Buddhism you're talking about. Something that's really interesting as a pagan person is that I'd like to learn about lots of different religions, and I'm not religious, which means that I get to really spend as much time as I want to, or as I deem worthy of my time, towards a particular religious learning, which means in another way, I'm a jack of all religious trades and I'm an actual follower of none, which is fine for me. But there are some people out there who are really confused about what a pagan is versus what any type of spiritual person is. There are some people who think anybody who says, I need you. There are some people who think anyone who says that they're a pagan is actually copping out of saying that perhaps they're Wiccan or some other not very popular religion. In actuality, it has nothing to do with that. If you say you're one thing, that doesn't mean that you're automatically something else. It just means that you are that one particular thing. In the case of pagans versus neo-pagans, it's really just a stylized naming convention. A neo-pagan can be standing shoulder to shoulder with a pagan, and they can do the same exact things. It's just one person likes to say neo-pagan because technically the name pagan is ancient, but it has no actual bearing saying neo versus pagan. So I'm going to bring up a bad word, something that you wouldn't usually bring up, but it's worth bringing up in this particular instance. What is the difference between I'll do another video. Basically, neo just means right now. They're doing it now, and some people might find it ironic or odd that someone is doing something right now that is so ancient. But in actuality, no one says neo-Christian. Christianity isn't exactly new either, but it's considered the norm, at least in this particular part of the West that I live in. So nobody would say neo. Personally, I'm never going to say neo-pagan because that's just stupid. To me, it's as stupid as saying neo-Jewish, neo-Christian, neo-Catholic. It is what it is and what it has been, and I'm not making it something new just by my observing it. It's just that I'm getting to this party very late. I'm not going to say that something is special or something is new just because I started doing it when it's something that's thousands and thousands of years old. It doesn't really make any sense to me. I think what's special about right now as a pagan person or as a spiritual person or a free spirit is that at the moment, more closed-minded people and people who are more conservative, who are usually feeling threatened by people who are not so conservative. I think that I've seen a big shift that they're learning to try and show some patience and some compassion to people who are less conservative. It might not actually be because they feel those things, but they're learning that compassion and patience, even if it's forced, it's a social grace that needs to be observed. as something that, as a pagan person, I've always observed with my religious counterparts. My friends, my family have always been uber religious. And just because they said something that I didn't agree with never meant that I felt that I had, the right to disagree with them just while they were sharing their personal opinion, or that I had the right to tell them that I just felt that they were wrong. If I did, I probably wouldn't have any friends right now. So this is a kind of controversial video for me to make because a lot of my friends have the address of this channel. They may watch it, they may not. And I've decided that they need to show me as much respect and patience and fealty as I would show them. So many of them are many different forms of Christian and also Catholic. And if they did a video talking about what it means to them to be Christian or to be Catholic in whatever particular denomination that was, I wouldn't feel the need to tell them that they were going to hell or that they were wasting their life, or, in actuality, they've been here many times, they're going to come here again, because that's not my place. It's not my place to tell them what they believe. They have to believe in what they believe and what they follow. And I respect them for whatever that happens to be. And so I'm going to expect and demand that they do that in return. And if they can't, then I'll understand that maybe now's not the right time for us to be together, or maybe it was better to find out now than later on. So another thing about being pagan is you have to have thick skin. The truth is, especially when you live in really conservative places like I've always lived in, everyone is very vocal, and they're very vocal about being conservative, and then anyone who isn't conservative, meaning not doing the typical things, really that's what it usually comes down to. If you're not doing what most everybody else is doing, then they don't consider you to be conservative, and they can be very vocal, and sometimes those conversations can get pretty uncomfortable because honestly, as the pagan in the room, I'm usually quiet. It's not a conversation that I usually care to be a part of, unless they're going to turn to me and tell me about myself. There's no reason for me to just step in and then correct their beliefs, because that's not okay. It's never okay to try and correct or control what other people believe. Everybody deserves to have the space in their life to follow their beliefs, whatever that is. And so long as they actually follow it and it's not so much just lip service, I can respect them for that, even if I disagree with it. So basically, being pagan means that I have the freedom to learn wisdom from everywhere and incorporate it into my life and how I conduct myself in the way that works best for me. And that's really it. That's what being pagan is all about. So it makes sense when someone says they're a free spirit, because they might literally mean that they are a spirit unfettered by any kind of control. The fact is, when people hear the word free spirit, what they hear is someone who's not choosing a specific mold to fit into, and they don't question it. So if you're a pagan and you want to say free spirit as a way to get more comfortable towards saying pagan, or maybe you just want to say free spirit, I would personally say go for it. I felt uncomfortable saying it for a long time because I felt like maybe it was a cop out, but it's really not. The truth is, people are a little bit too consumed with fitting other people into boxes, and people are multidimensional. You really can't fit someone into a box. And that includes, I know I've said conservative about 18,000 times in this video. There's no one who completely and totally agrees with every single belief of any one denomination or party, because people are multifaceted and complicated. And the same way that you, as a pagan person, might be quiet as someone else is espousing their views and their beliefs, in order to give them that space and show them respect as a fellow human being, which is also a loving thing to do. Remember that you also deserve that as well. And if you're around people who can't allow you to just speak your voice or your truth or your belief without getting angry at you and yelling at you and making you leave the room, they really are not being very humane. And personally, I've decided I only want to be around people from now on. I'm only going to bring people into my circle who are humane and considerate and loving. And if that means that it's about to become a much smaller circle again, I'm okay with that because I'd rather have quality over quantity. And so that's how this video about being a pagan and what it means to me is going to end. That basically it's about quality of life. And that is why I would say that I'm a pagan, I'm a free spirit. And as such, there are certain things that mean a lot to me that I follow and I observe. I'm observing Chinese New Year because it means a lot to me and I really love it. And I don't need to be Chinese or anything else in order to appreciate the new moon cycle or Chinese New Year. I love it. It's a part of who I am. And so I'm doing a short series of videos helping to educate people just a little tiny bit on some of the more popular beliefs and things that are done in order to observe Chinese New Year this year as a way of celebrating it. So I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're living your best life, whatever that happens to look like. And I wish you a happy Chinese New Year. And if you enjoyed this video, since you've been here, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe. And if there's any left of center or pagan or free spirit or, you know, off the beaten path subject that you would like me to review, or a particular belief system or something like that you'd like me to review, go ahead and put in the comments below what that might be. Whoever wins, I'm going to be sending out a very special gift. I've been making some fun masks, and so make sure to go ahead and put your suggestion in the description, in the comments down below, so that you have your chance and you enter to win a special prize. Okay, bye!